In Niger, defense and security forces have been working tirelessly to secure the country from the increasing threats of terrorism and organized crime. From September 8 to 11, these forces conducted a series of operations aimed at neutralizing terrorists, dismantling criminal networks, and seizing contraband that fuels their operations. These missions, spread across various regions, yielded significant results, contributing to the stabilization of key areas and disrupting terrorist and criminal activities. One of the most notable operations took place in the Tillaberi region, on the right bank of the Niger River. As part of Operation Nia, on September 10th, a patrol from the Lakalkane operation intercepted a van on the Bandio-Kabong road. This van was carrying more than 50 gas bottles, frequently diverted for criminal purposes. These bottles are often used by terrorists to manufacture improvised explosive devices, IEDs, a common tool in their attacks. The interception of this vehicle and seizure of the gas bottles was a crucial disruption of the terrorists' ability to make and deploy these deadly devices. Thanks to reliable intelligence gathered by the security forces, an FDS, Forces de Défense et de Sécurité, unit was dispatched to Tiapaga, where they successfully tracked and arrested a notorious terrorist involved in several attacks, including a deadly assault in Boni, on May 20, 2024. This arrest was a significant victory for the security forces, as the individual was a key figure in orchestrating terror attacks in the region. Upon his capture, a large sum of money and gold nuggets were found, highlighting how financial resources from illegal activities fuel these terror networks. Meanwhile, on the other bank of the river, the security forces were engaged in decisive actions within the Almaho operation. After a terrorist incursion in the Sabonga-Intakusa locality on September 10th, a mission was rapidly deployed to track the attackers. 14 criminals, attempting to steal livestock, were neutralized. Livestock theft has long been a method used by terrorist groups to fund their activities, as the sale of stolen cattle can generate significant funds. Unfortunately, despite the success of neutralizing the attackers, the operation resulted in the tragic death of one civilian, a reminder of the innocent lives at stake in this ongoing fight against terrorism. Further south, in the Dosso region, security forces carried out several major interventions as part of Operation Amissa. A unit patrolling the outskirts of Maka village intercepted a large convoy transporting illicit products. The convoy was carrying 79,000 tramadol tablets and 64 slabs of Indian hemp, with an estimated value of over 100 million CFA francs. Tramadol, often used by terrorists to sustain themselves during prolonged operations, and Indian hemp, a key part of the drug trade, were major targets in these operations. The seizure of these substances dealt a significant financial blow to the criminal networks in the region. In a related effort, the Mobile Customs Brigade of Tawa carried out offensive actions under the National Sarongasa operation aimed at tackling illegal activities in Gaidanida and Salewa. These actions resulted in the seizure of approximately 3,500 liters of contraband fuel. Fuel smuggling is a major source of income for both criminal and terrorist networks, and its seizure disrupts their operations, which rely heavily on fuel supplies for transportation and logistics. Niger's northern region of Arlit saw further efforts to combat drug trafficking. During a routine check on the Oni Road, security forces conducted a search that led to the arrest of a high-risk international drug trafficker found in possession of over 107 bricks of cannabis, weighing a total of 57 kilograms. Like fuel smuggling, drug trafficking generates significant revenue for terrorist groups. The arrest of this trafficker and the seizure of such a large quantity of drugs was another heavy blow to criminal organizations. Meanwhile, in the Diffa region, located in the east of the country, the security forces continued their decisive operations against terrorist groups as part of Sector 4 of the Joint Multinational Force. Late last week, a detachment of defense and security forces intercepted a supply convoy on the outskirts of Diffa intended for Boko Haram. The convoy, which carried a large quantity of supplies, was seized, and 3 criminals were arrested. In addition to the supplies, security forces also confiscated a Golf-type vehicle, likely meant to aid Boko Haram's operations. The disruption of this supply chain further weakens Boko Haram's ability to sustain its terrorist activities. In a related operation, 2 more individuals suspected of supplying the Islamic State in West Africa were apprehended in Gingimi. Searches conducted on these suspects uncovered significant sums of money, 11.7 million naira, 7 million Chadian francs, and 537,000 CFA francs. These funds were likely intended to support Islamic State operations in the region, and their seizure represents another victory in the ongoing battle to cripple terrorist financing. In the northern region, security forces also carried out an operation to reassure public escort users along the Arlit-Tabakat Road, a key route for trade and transportation. The operation, named Kabong, was initiated by military authorities in the region early on the morning of September 11th. During this mission, the security forces successfully neutralized 2 armed bandits and recovered an AK-47 rifle, complete with a loaded magazine. Despite this success, a civilian was injured during the encounter, highlighting the risks civilians continue to face in these conflict zones. The operations carried out by Niger's defense and security forces in early September underscore the country's ongoing battle against terrorism, organized crime, and the illicit trade that fuels these threats. Through a combination of intelligence gathering, targeted raids, and decisive actions, the forces have managed to disrupt key criminal networks and weaken the capabilities of terrorist groups operating in the region. However, challenges remain significant as these forces continue to face well-armed and determined adversaries. Niger's role in counter-terrorism extends beyond its borders, impacting regional stability across the Sahel. By disrupting operations of terrorist groups like Boko Haram and the Islamic State in West Africa, Niger is contributing to the broader fight against terrorism. The cooperation between Niger's forces, the joint multinational force, and international partners is essential in ensuring that these gains are maintained and that peace and stability are restored to the region. As Niger continues to confront these threats, it is clear that the success of these operations is not only vital to the security of the country, but also to the Sahel region as a whole. The recent victories, including the capture of high-profile terrorists, the disruption of smuggling networks, and the seizure of illicit goods, offer hope that a more stable and secure future is within reach. However, the fight against terrorism and organized crime is far from over. Ongoing support from the international community, collaboration between regional forces, and continued vigilance by Niger's defense and security forces are crucial to sustaining these efforts. The sacrifices made by both the security forces and civilians in the face of these threats should not go unnoticed, and the importance of these operations cannot be overstated. If you want to stay updated on these vital security efforts in Niger and the wider Sahel region, be sure to follow us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis and breaking news. Your support helps shine a light on these important developments and keeps you informed about the fight against terrorism and crime in Africa.